Hey everybody! So recently I've started posting short videos, which are clips from my longer form YouTube videos. And these are posted as YouTube Shorts, and they're also being posted on my bagpipelessons.com Facebook and Instagram page. And today I want to talk about one of these videos, which is becoming the most viewed and most commented and most liked video in the history of my channel and on my social media accounts. And I thought I'd go into a little bit more detail and explanation on this topic that's bringing up so much heated debate and conversation. So what do you think it's about? Is it about bagpipe reeds and what are the best reeds out there? Is it some controversial idea about musical expression of our tunes? Is it about types of bagpipes and chanters? Is it about who's the greatest bagpiper or pipe band of all time? Any other guesses? It's actually about the thumb. This video is a 47-second video, and it's all about the position of your thumb on your bottom hand on the pipe chanter or the practice chanter. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, about hand position in general, and then in particular, about the perfect optimal position for your thumb on your bottom hand. Welcome to bagpipelessons.com, where you'll find the inspiration and knowledge to fulfill your piping dreams. So before we get into this, I want you to grab your practice chanter right now, pause this video if you have to go get it, and I want you to put your hands on your practice chanter in low G position. So all the fingers on the chanter, and I want you to look at the position of your bottom hand. Where is it on the chanter? So here's what I want you to take a look at. And actually, I want you to put it in the comments below on this video so we can get a poll of where the thumbs are. So is it up here, directly across from your pointer finger? Is it just between the pointer and the middle finger? Is your thumb just directly across from the middle finger? Is your thumb below the middle finger, just across from the space between the middle and the ring finger? Is it across from the ring finger or lower? So let's end it there. So these are your choices. I guess it could be even above. Is there anybody whose thumb is higher than their index finger, even with the index finger, between the index and the middle, across from the middle, between the middle and the ring, or even with the ring finger or lower? So put your answer in the comments below. This is what my short video is all about, that's generating all this interest and conversation. So let's talk about it. So this is the way that I would teach you if you were a beginner coming to me. We would start with the top hand, and I would say to put your top hand on the practice chanter, you're going to put your ring finger on the first pad. So your finger has the first pad, and then there's the little creases there. So it's just right in the middle of the first pad on the third hole down from the top. That's where your ring finger goes. Now with your finger sort of straight, then put your thumb on the chanter on the back. And now with your index and middle fingers straight, just drop them down. So that's the optimal position for your top hand. Some people end up being on the first pad. Some people end up being on the second pad and a little bit angled. It all has to do with the length of your thumb. Everybody's thumb is a little bit different. So that's the top hand. Ring finger first, thumb, drop the other two down. Now on the bottom hand, this is what we're going to do. Pinky first on the first pad. Index finger on the second pad, right? So just past the crease there, right on the second pad. So index finger and then the second pad, and then drop the other two down. Now your thumb needs to go somewhere. Your thumb is the only finger that goes on the chanter that does not have a hole. So we get to decide where it goes. Now some people think that there's one perfect correct spot for everybody. Other people think that there's maybe a different perfect spot or that it really doesn't matter. Before I give you my answer, let's watch the video that's generating all this controversy. So here goes. Many pipers that I've seen are way too high. So the reason you want to have your thumb right down there between the middle and the ring fingers is that it's perfectly balanced right in the middle there. And anytime you're moving your bottom hand to cover all the holes for those low G bass movements, burls, D throws, grips, torluas, but any bottom hand notes, you're using your thumb to help. You're not just pushing your fingers on the chanter, you're actually using your thumb on the back for a little bit of a very light sort of pinching motion. And having that thumb down low is the perfect spot. So Not up here. Some players put it right across from the middle finger. That's still a little bit high. You want it just between the middle and the ring finger. That's the perfect spot for you. All right, there you go. So at recent count, we are almost to 11,000 views and 150 likes, 30 comments. I think some people have even been posting and deleting their comments because they didn't like the feedback they're getting from other people. So pretty amazing that this got so much interest and heated debate. I'll put the link to this Facebook video in the description. You can check it out and actually put a comment on there. So what is all the discussion and debate about? Well, a lot of them have to do with people saying that to put it that low, right there, between the middle and the ring finger, is painful. Other people argue that it doesn't feel natural. Other people are arguing that, well, you should just put your hands on your chanter and whatever feels natural the first time you do it, that's the right spot for you. So I'm going to say that the right spot is right there between the middle and the ring finger, and that's lower than a lot of people. Definitely you don't want to be up high. I would say even straight across from the middle finger is too high, that you want to get it right down there between the middle and the ring finger. That's right where you want it to be, straight across from there. So if that does feel unnatural to you, try that right now. If you're a little bit higher, try scooting it down and see how that feels. You'll probably feel a little bit of tightness in this joint. You might feel a little bit of pain and tightness in this muscle here. So why would you want to do that if it feels unnatural or painful? Well, I think that the answer is we're really talking about the difference between short-term versus long-term. We're talking about the difference between something that feels right the first time you do it versus something that works best long-term. So when we say that something feels natural, often that means that's what you're used to, but that can be different from what's the best way to do it with practice. So when we talk about something that's innate, that's something that you can do naturally without any practice, but that's going to be different from something that you can do well after you have practice. So many times the best way to do something is not the way that feels natural at first. The best way to do something takes time to learn and develop. Not just skill, but also physically changing your body, strength, flexibility, and range of motion. And that's what you need to get that thumb down in that low position. People have described the game of golf as a game of opposites, where often the best way to do something is counterintuitive, and what feels right to a beginner is not the way to get good at something long term. So let's just say that again. What can feel right to you as a beginner is often not the way to do it to get good at it long term. Or another way to think about that is that the right way or the best way to get really good at something often feels counterintuitive, awkward, wrong, or even painful when you first start out. So let's talk about why this low thumb position is so important. It's because of the bottom hand notes. So on the bagpipe chanter, practice chanter or pipe chanter, we have 9 notes from high A all the way down to low G. On the pipe chanter, the low notes have the biggest holes with the biggest spacing with the smallest fingers. So big holes, big spacing, small fingers. So we really want to do everything we can to get our hands in the right position to give an advantage to those bottom fingers. I mean, check those out. Those are really big holes down there on the bottom for my little pinky. Even if you have bigger hands, it's still your smallest fingers on the bottom with the biggest holes. This is an infinity pipe chanter. I love this pipe chanter because it's got smaller holes than a lot of other chanters. But even still, they're way bigger than your practice chanter holes. So we got our 9 notes. We have 13 primary embellishments. We have a doubling for every note, low G doubling all the way to high A doubling. And we have 4 bottom hand embellishments. These bottom hand embellishments are, what are they? D-throw, burl, grip, and torlua. These are all these embellishments that really focus on the low G. And that low G, that involves your pinky, the big hole on the bottom of the chanter. You want to get that thumb in the right position to do everything you can do to help develop control and dexterity of those little fingers down there. The position of the thumb is also really important for keeping your hands relaxed. Remember, the 2 most important pillars of good bagpipe form would be keeping the hands as relaxed as possible and also keeping them in close to the chanter. Tension makes things worse. Raising your fingers way off the chanter makes things worse. So I want you to grab your practice chanter, or if you have a pipe chanter like this, you can try it as well. Go into low G position. Now hold your practice chanter just with your bottom hand and try it in this, what I would call the correct position, with the thumb nice and low between the middle and the ring finger. And when you do that, raise your pointer finger as if you're doing a D grace note, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Now it's a little bit of wobbly here because you're trying to control this chanter with just your bottom hand. Now I want you to slide your thumb up. Now try it. Already what I feel is I have to pinch a lot harder with my index finger because all of the tension of the thumb is going into that one finger. And when I lift it, it really moves. Middle finger, ring finger, and then pinky. So anytime when the thumb is way up here, this actually causes me physical pain right here in the thumb. I have to push so hard to keep the chanter from flying around. My thumb is high. When my thumb is low, much easier, much more relaxed. You can try the same thing with your pipe chanter here. Now when I slide it up here, the whole thing wants to move. So what that thumb does when you have it nice and low is it gives you a balance. When you're playing, you're not just moving your fingers, you're actually using your thumb on the back for a very gentle pinching motion. And when your thumb's in that position between the middle and the ring finger, perfectly in the center of your four fingers here, it's the most relaxed it can be. And these fingers can be the most relaxed because they're spreading out that tension across all four fingers. About 25 years ago, I was in Scotland for the World Pipe Band Championships, staying in Glasgow, playing with the Simon Fraser University Pipe Band. I think this is the very late 90s or the early 2000s. And leading up to the Worlds, which were on the weekend, were all kinds of cool piping events, recitals and other things happening all week. And I was with some friends from the band, and we were having lunch, and we were heading to the piping center to watch a recital by the great Alasdair Gillies, who was one of my teachers and one of the all-time greatest pipers. It was a very popular recital, and we got the very last seats in the little recital hall there at the National Piping Center, and we were in the front row all the way to one side. I think we were all the way on the left-hand side. So not where you would necessarily pick the best seats in the house for getting a nice center view of the stage, but I'm really glad that we got there late and that we got those seats because I saw something that I had never seen before. And what I was able to see was a side view of Alasdair playing. So imagine you're in the very front row, but you're not staring at the performer because you're all the way over to one side. So I'm looking almost directly to my right and a little bit forward, and there he is playing. And what I could see was, I could see his hands, and I could see the side view. And what I saw, I had never seen or noticed before on any other piper, and that was, as he was playing, his thumb would just move like this. And it wasn't in time, and I don't think he was even conscious of it, but what it showed to me was that he was keeping his thumb very relaxed. He wasn't squeezing down. He was just keeping it very relaxed, just not moving it up and down, but just a little bit, like just taking it off and repositioning it. And I noticed the position of his thumb was right there between the middle and the ring finger, and very loose and relaxed. If you hear Alasdair play, and you can hear it on the recordings, he had a great sound. He had a very powerful sound, especially on that bottom hand. His technique was very clear, getting that really nice strong kind of ripple sound out of the D throws and the grips and torluas, and a very powerful way of expressing his tunes with a fairly driving beat. One of the greatest 2/4 march players of all time, in my opinion, if not the greatest. So he had a very powerful way of playing musically, and his technique and his sound. But what I noticed was that power was not coming from tension. That power was coming from precision and control and clarity, but with a very, very relaxed hand with that thumb in that position. So look around at the other top pipers. Get on YouTube and see if you can find videos of top pipers. And if you can get a view of that thumb position, look for that. Almost all of them have the thumbs low and in that position. Not because there's a rule, not because they're trying to fit in and copy each other, but it's because it's the best way to increase your finger dexterity, decrease tension, and increase the clarity and consistency and speed of your playing, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get your technique clean and consistent and fast and played in these really difficult tunes. So having your hands relaxed as possible is crucial, and also having that thumb in the perfect spot to optimize your execution is what you're going for. When you're in the right position, you might say it's biomechanically friendly. So it's the best spot for you to do what you're trying to do with your body with this piece of equipment. So what's the plan for you? If you find your thumbs way too high or a little bit higher and you want to get it down in that lower, better position, here's what I want you to do. Just try moving it down. You can do it with your practice chanter. You can try moving it all the way down into that position that I'm talking about between the middle and ring finger. Or if that's too hard or too painful or too tight, just move it down a little bit. Just give yourself time. Move it down. It's going to feel weird. It might feel tight. It might even hurt. Try to keep your hands as relaxed as you can, but it's going to feel weird. Give yourself time to adjust. Your body needs to adjust actually physically. It's not just a position. The muscle needs to change. Things need to loosen up. You're going to get used to that position, but it takes time. Anytime you do something big like this where you're changing something about your body position, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Anytime you make a big change like this, it's going to happen. To get really good at something, you're going to need to make some fundamental changes to your technique. And anytime you do this, things will probably get temporarily worse as you make the change and you get used to it. But don't give up. This is part of the process. You stick with it and it will work. Trust me. So if you want to see if you can improve your bottom hand execution by moving that thumb down, try it. Try it for a week. Try it for a couple weeks. I would love to hear from you. Post a comment below and let me know how it's going for you. If you want to dig deep into mastering your bagpipe fingering, check out my Bagpipe Essentials Masterclass. It's an online course with 31 detailed video lessons on all the essentials of bagpipe fingering technique, from hand position, the 9 notes of the bagpipe scale, grace notes, strikes, doublings, takums, torluas, and more. You can check it all out at bagpipelessons.com/masterclass. And for everybody watching this video today, I'm going to give you a coupon to get the masterclass for $50 off. Just use the coupon code THUMB, THUMB. Thanks everybody for watching. Until I see you next time, happy piping.